I'm Scott.
I'm Brian.
We're Schwartz on Sports.
The NFL Combine started this week, and there really isn't too much in-depth information to give everybody yet or to discuss it. So we're just going to give you some highlights that we know so far. And with that, I'll hand it off to Brian.
One big surprise was RG3 being 6'2.5", almost. Everyone thought he was going to be 6'1". That's a big deal, especially for a Browns fan, knowing if we trade up to the second spot, we're going to get him. He's 6'2", he's legit. He's not a 6'1", 6'1" Colt McCoy who can't run, can't throw, can't read his progressions. At least this guy has a chance to be somewhat decent. What do you think about RG3?
I think it's a good point because people say what's an inch, what's a half an inch here or there, but from an NFL perspective, from a GM, from a team perspective, looking at players when they're evaluating them, 6'2" is pretty much the cutoff in the NFL for good, solid quarterbacks. Very few quarterbacks have made the name for themselves being under 6'2". You can throw out Drew Brees, you can throw out Doug Flutie, you can throw out, who else we got? Mike Vick's, I think, is 5'10", 5'11".
Yep,
small. There aren't that many quarterbacks out there that are under 6'2" that, are decent quarterbacks and Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks. So yeah, it's only half an inch, only an inch, but it does make a difference. And, I think it does.
Well, it makes a big difference when your line's 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah. It helps you see over the line. It helps you read your progressions downfield more. And the plus is he's a lot more mobile than most 6'2" quarterbacks. So it is going to help him. And the fact that he is almost 6'2.5", it's going to make people look at him twice and maybe trade up for him. Another surprise at the draft was Trent Richardson. People thought he was 5'11". I believe he was listed at 5'11" in the Alabama player guide. And turns out he's 5'9".
5'9". Really?
That's small for a stud running back. I figured the guy was at least 5'10". He's still pretty thick. He's a tank. He's built like a tank. He's 228 pounds, but he's not that tall. You can throw out the fact that, MJD's short, Ray Rice is short, but they weren't top 5 picks. So I really don't think he's worthy of that. And another guy that we got measurements for at the Combine was Justin Black.
Oh, hold on, I want to go back to Trent Richardson and talk about his knee.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a big deal once it's healed. All the Combine doctors cleared him and everything. But it could be a big deal to some teams, which might make him drop out of the top 10, which I believe he should anyways.
Yeah.
But and then getting back to Justin Blackman, he measured in at 6 7/8, almost basically 6'1". We're just waiting to see his 40 time because that's going to be the big thing right there since he's short. Can he run a 4.48, 4.5, 4.52 in that range? That'll get him picked in the top 5, which I think he will because on all his tape, no one caught him from behind. So, he's got to be somewhat quick, right?
You'd think, playing in the SEC.
Yeah, so that takes us to another SEC wide receiver, and Alshon Jeffries. He came in way underweight from what people were saying, like Todd McShay. Don't know what you're
talking. Todd
McFuck. He came in at 216 pounds. About 22 pounds lighter than Todd McShay said he was, which I don't know how you can lose that much weight. But whatever. If that's what he thinks it is, then that's what it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing his 40 time at that weight. He might jump back up into, mid-teens?
Yeah, Alshon's a big dude. What do you weigh, like 6'5", 6'6"?
6'3.5",
His height, not what he weighed, my bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's a big, tall receiver. I think he'd be there at 22 for the Browns. That would be ideal. We need a stud playmaker. He's pretty good. McShay said he'd be, 230, 240. He came in at 216.
Yeah.
So McShay proves yet again he has no fucking clue what he's talking about. And what else we got on here?
My boy Chris Polk from Washington. I'm going to tell you right now, I told you so again. Second episode, I told you so. Remember that. Chris Polk, a beast. He weighed in at 224, and he was almost 5'11". So I think he's the real package. He waits behind his blocks. He has great vision, and he runs through tackles. And once he runs his 40 time in the 4.4s, he's going to show you that he should be in the first round. So
yeah, I'm beginning to think that I think he found something in Chris Polk. I think he's going to be the best running back in the draft by far. I think especially if the knee turns out to be a major problem for Ingram. God damn it. I keep screwing up on Trent Richardson. Ingram, they're one and the same goddamn running back. They're not studs. They're going to be okay. That's why I get confused. Anyway, they're both, I just lost the total train of thought there.
Well, anyway, we're going to jump to free agency. There's a couple rumors out there that the Browns are interested in Flynn, Bo, and we wanted to get a little bit on the Wallace talk Pittsburgh because that might go talk about Pittsburgh, you know.
Oh, they're already done.
So that's good for us. If he does stay, they're going to have to get rid of some talent. If he leaves, that's their biggest playmaker gone. So let's get into the Matt Flynn. Would you want Matt Flynn? I mean, he's only played 2 games, and he's only started 2 games. I mean, he's from the West Coast, though, but that's not a big deal. But he's played 2 games.
The biggest thing for me with Flynn is the fact that because he's been in the league and he's not a rookie, he's not subjected to the rookie salary cap, which means you're going to have to pay out the ass for a contract for Flynn.
Yep, and he did prove nothing.
He hasn't proved a damn. He's had 2 good games in his career.
One really good game.
Well,
one average
he's had
game.
2 decent games as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I think he's got 8 picks in those 2 games. 6 to 8 picks, I can't recall, which isn't
good. He doesn't
good.
have that many picks. He didn't throw any picks in the last game. He threw 6 touchdowns.
In the games he started, or got in, he's got like 8 interceptions.
Well, either way.
8 interceptions.
It's the fact that you would have to pay top-of-the-line money for Matt Flynn because he's been in the league and he's not a rookie. So why pick and pay for a guy who's only started twice in his history in the league? You have to pay him probably top 10 quarterback money. To me, he's still unproven. When you can draft a guy in the draft,
RG3 perhaps, for half the price, and you can work with him, he's probably more accurate. RG3 is deadly accurate with his deep ball.
But you get an RG3 in the draft as opposed to taking Flynn as a free agent. You can mold RG3 and bring him up the way you want to bring him up. And I mean, Flynn's already
molded in the Packers offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same offense as the Browns, but still.
Which, this is another factor. Matt Flynn has how many, Donald Driver,
he's got around him.
Jermichael Finley. I mean, who can't throw to them? Of course he's going to look like a stud. And that just tells you, what about Aaron Rodgers? Matt Flynn comes in, puts up Aaron Rodgers' numbers. I mean, what's that telling you? That
the Rodgers isn't all that.
The receivers are the team.
It's the talent around Rodgers. If you put Rodgers on the Browns right now, would he be any good? Nope.
Nope, wouldn't want to see one belt. Not one. But anyway, going on, we'd like Dwayne Bowe. Romeo Crennel talked to Mary Kay Cabot at the Combine today, and he said they'd like to keep Bowe, but he doesn't think that's going to be possible. And I just want to get your take on, do you think Bowe would be a good fit with Cleveland? Being only 26, I think he is.
Crennel talked to Mary Kay, not Bowe. But anyway.
Whatever.
I digress. Any receiver that's worth anything in this league would be a good fit for the Browns because we have none. So, yes, it would be a good fit for the Browns.
Okay, and then the one I really want to talk about is Pittsburgh. Their situation's just... I know Roethlisberger just restructured his contract, which I think was $8 million, so they're still about $3 million over. So they're going to have to get rid of Aaron Smith, Ferrier. Who's the other one?
I don't know, but they need an offensive line bad. They need depth bad because the Steelers team
their secondary is horrible.
Yeah, the Steelers team that Tomlin inherited is not the same team he has today. It's depleted of depth. The playmakers are getting extremely old. So unless they revamp their entire talent pool on their team, they're not going to be very good for very much longer, if at all. They're an average team right now, in my opinion.
They're going to be a bottom.
I'll say this again, like I said last year. A good team does not lose to Tim Tebow. End of story.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't care if it was at Tebow's house and he's Jesus on the fucking field. You don't lose to Tebow if you're a good team.
Yeah, I don't know what Dick LeBeau was thinking in that one, pulling up all the safeties. Anyone in the NFL.
He was thinking Tim Tebow can't throw unless God throws a magic bullet from his gun, and that's what happened.
Yeah, at the end, that's sure what happened.
Yep.
Anyways, I want to talk about last night, the Rising Stars game. Kyrie Irving. Yeah, it's the NBA. Kyrie Irving had a hell of a game. 34 points. He won the MVP award. He was 8 for 8 beyond the arc, which is unbelievable. Yeah, I think he had like 8 assists. And then on top of that, Tristan Thompson was on the other team, and he was a leading scorer on that team. So what's that tell you about our youth? We have a great body to build around. And what about if LeBron does come back?
He's not coming back. That's all bullshit.
Hey,
come on.
What do you think it takes for him to come back? For people to welcome him? A championship?
The only way he'd come back to the Cleveland is if he got booed and so bad he had to get kicked out of Miami. He's not coming back to Cleveland. It was all bullshit. He's trying to smooth shit over. He's not coming back. I'll tell you right now, if fans want him back, and if he ever did come back and they accepted him, I'd have no respect for the city anymore. I mean, after what he did to this city, there's no reason you would want him back. I don't care if he was Michael Jordan, which he's not even close to being. But if you could never win a championship without LeBron and he came back and you won one, I would still detest the guy. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Hell of a player, though, but a shitty guy. Then I'm going to talk about some Buckeye basketball, NCAA. I want to talk about their finish. They have a good year going right now, but they're so inconsistent, it's ridiculous. They're at Wisconsin. They're home against Wisconsin. They're at Northwestern. And then the big game at Michigan State, which is going to have a Big Ten title.
3 games left before the Big Ten tourney.
So, if everyone wins out and then we beat Michigan State, it's going to be a 3-way tie with Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. And then that'll take us into the Big Ten tourney, which...
To me, that's the dumbest thing to me about basketball, is the fact that you have conference games, you play your conference schedule, and technically you win the regular season conference schedule, then you have a conference tournament.
And if you win the tournament, you get a bid, even if you're...
What's the point of playing a regular season if you just got the goddamn tournament? It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing, not in the world, because we still have Bud Selig in baseball, so it's not the dumbest thing in sports. But it's pretty damn close. Come on! You go through the regular season, you could potentially, theoretically, win your conference in the regular season by 15 games. Go to your conference tournament, lose in the conference tournament, and the team that beats you gets an automatic bid. And you don't technically win the tournament, or the conference. What the hell is that?
No, you win the conference, just not the conference tournament.
Yeah, it's
There's a conference tournament champion and a conference champion, which is completely stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then, I want to talk a little bit about March Madness. I think we're going to get a 2 seed.
Probably.
Which is... I highly doubt we're going to get a 1 because we're too inconsistent.
We don't deserve a 1.
But I was thinking, how far can we go? I was thinking something Sweet 16 would probably be
If we get to the Sweet 16, I'll be shocked because we're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Our guard play is just average. We have no outside shot. We miss Whitey bad. I want 3 more back. Awesome.
Speaking of outside presence, where's Buford? Isn't he supposed to be the team leader?
Buford's hot and cold, man. If he doesn't show up, the Buckeyes don't win. It's that simple.
Buford, he's...
And here's the other thing. You got Salinger in the middle, right? You got Ravenel in the middle, right? Why the hell aren't we driving the goddamn lane? Why aren't we getting any inside presence in the post? What the hell's going on?
We don't have a true point guard.
I don't give a damn.
That's what it is.
With average guards and the big dudes you have, you gotta penetrate, man. That's all it is. Penetration, baby.
Penetrate and kick.
They don't do it because there's no one to kick to after they penetrate. But anyway, March Madness, it's starting here pretty soon. I don't think there's a clear number 1 team. Really, anybody can win this tournament.
There's a couple number 1 teams.
They're dominant, but they're not so dominant they can't be beaten.
Kentucky's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, but they're not. You can't look at Kentucky right now and say, "Oh yeah, Kentucky's going to win it all." It's going to depend on the bracket they're in. It's going to depend on who they play in the bracket. Do I think they're probably the best team in the country right now? Yeah. Doesn't mean they're going to win. Nope.
Who I really like is Marquette. They proved it last night when they played. I don't even know who they played. But anyway, 3 of their starters were out because they didn't do team rules. They were down 14 at half, and they just came back and beat them once the starters were back in. They're a sleeper. They're probably going to be about a 4 seed, and they're going to surprise some people. They're probably going to make it to the Final Four.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that next week. I do want to get some Indians talking here before we get out of here. If you haven't heard yet, Grady Sizemore's out past at least opening day. He tweaked his lower back, I guess. I don't really think it's that big of a deal at this point, just for the fact that it's a lower back. Yeah, it's probably, could get worse, but it's not anything structural like his knee, which is good. So I think we're not going to start the year with him. We'll get him back probably, I don't think they're talking like mid-April, early May, somewhere like that.
Second week of the season.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a loss. He'll be a little bit healthier from the knees down, which is what we care about, because that's what he hurt. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's probably a blessing in disguise kind of thing. But, just looking at the overall pitching staff, we're a lot better than we were last year with Ubaldo.
I'm more interested to see if they can hit the ball this year.
Well, we do need to hit.
Consistently. If they hit consistently, we got the pitching hard.
We'll be right there at pitching.
We'll be right there with Detroit if we
Casey Kochman is a huge upgrade at first base from a power perspective.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be huge. Most of our team was hurt last year. So you're going to have the outfield's going to be solid. You get Grady back, it's even better.
The only thing we don't know for sure is who's at third. Everything else is done.
Even if you put Hanahan at third, he's a good defensive presence. He has a little bit of pop in his bat. I can take that.
Or is it going to be Chisenhall? It could be Chisenhall.
It doesn't matter. We got options.
I think we have the best outfield in the league, though, with Brantley, Sizemore, Chu, if they're healthy.
If they're healthy.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
But when we come back next time, we're going to talk all the combine results, get our opinions on where people might go. We'll have a better idea of free agency. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.
OH.
Out.